Hello, good morning. So, in today class, we're gonna talk about the basically how we're gonna create the history page, right? The history of our order. Okay, we're gonna place order, and then uh, the user, right, who is logged in, we're gonna fetch their data, and then create a page for that, right? That is order history page. Okay. So how it gonna look? If you click here, we are in the main page, right? Here in our main website. Then this is our user information, like the logged in user. We just added this button right here, or basically one more icon we can call it, or maybe the link, that is history order. When you click here, it will take you to the route, right? User orders. Okay, this route. Fine. Inside this route, basically in the user, right, in the user folder, we're gonna create the layout. That layout is going to have these three links. So there is order. If we can create profiles of the user, right, like update profiles most likely, or maybe some settings. We'll see what we're gonna add here, right? So just imagine some settings for the user, profiles, details of the user, shipping address, something like that you want to display here, right? Then basically we again just call our user button, right, in this layout as well. Okay, so that you can see here. All right, so let's sign up. I mean, if once you sign up, you will send to the home page, right? And here is the history order page. Fine, so let's try to create something similar, right? This will be the list of order, basically table, right, from the SATCN. And this is the component for pagination, right? So right now we are in the first page, so there is no previous is disabled, right? Next page, next page. Once you hit the last page, this button is disabled. Okay, you can go previous, right? So all these things, let's go one by one, right, and try to understand. I have added all the code in the GitHub, you can check there, but for now, what I will do is start from the step one, right? So okay, let me open the GitHub. And go to Merge Stack, Next.js, right? So if I just scroll to the bottom, order history page with pagination, right? So we're gonna add history page and pagination. The first thing is in the app folder, create user folder, right? And add this file, main-nav. That's the first thing. So let's look at that. So okay, let me increase the font size so it will be much clearer. Okay, let me close everything, right? There is so many pages open. So what I will do is basically in the app folder, right? This is our main route. Here I'm going to create users folder and add the order, right? Basically this page, orders page. Okay, orders. So inside here you can see the page, right? That's the first thing. But what our step one is basically in the user, just create one component called navigation, like main nav, right? Create that one and add this code. So in this one, we import link, use path name from the next navigation. That's a React. Import cn, right, to combine the classes. Then this is just the array with some object inside. There is two property, title and href, because we want to create that the nav kind of link, right? So you can store in the object. We talk about this during yesterday's SATCN class also, right? I mean, you can store the links in the object and just map through that to display. Okay, so this is just a function component, main nav. You can like this function accept the class names plus the props, right, as well, or any props. Okay, these are the type of React HTML attributes. Now inside the function, right, you have use path name just to get a path, right? Path name, okay? So which path, to find a current path, right? You can use path name, okay? This is the client function, right? So client, when visiting any path, you want to get the current path of that or current route, right? Basically, let's say, go back here. For example, let's say which I'm in the order path right now. See, order page 1, right? Look at this. This is a query parameter, but you can see the order. Okay, I'm in the order path. So if I'm in the order, right, that is my current path. Then I want to apply some different style here. This text is little dark, right? So that's the reason we need to get that path. Now you just map through, right? In the function return part, you have the nav tag with some style inside, right? You can combine like flex, item center, space between each item. You know, in the large you have more space, and then if there is any classes coming from the function, you just combine that as well. And then any props also, if there is any props, will be some attributes, right, for this nav. Okay, if there is something, just put it there, right? Add the attribute as well. Now you map through that links, and then link tag, give the key href, and add some class name, right? Here we saying if the path name includes item.href. See, when you map through the link, right, you have each path, like this path or this path, this item.href. If our clicked path is equal to that item.href, then apply this style. That is, just make it blank, means keep it whatever there, right? Or the other rest of the items, you make it this one, muted foreground, right? Okay, so that is just for the styling purpose. Okay, so that is all in this component. What is the next step? Let's look at the next step, right? Go back here. So it says layout, just add the layout, right, in your user folder. Again, layout, and copy this. The layout will be, right, like sub layout. We have the main layout. Always remember what the purpose of layout. So we have our main layout, right? But the main layout already have our navbar and rendering children's and everything. If any route, like the user route, has layout again, then you can create your own like navigation, because you want the navigation to be displayed in each page, right? Maybe settings, maybe profiles, or order, right? So in that situation, if you have many links within the user, it's better to add a layout and then display, right? So let's look at the layout. So in the layout, you're gonna get the app names. You have image also for a logo. You get the main navigation, right? Main nav, which we just created. A user button, right? We have from before. Okay. So here, flex column. Okay, that there is a border on the bottom of the nav. Then again, flex item. There is 3 items. This is the logo. That's the main nav and the user button, right? 3 items. Okay. If you look at this, flex hides 16 of this box, right? But item center adding 4. So 1, 2, and 3, right? That's why you gonna see something like this. That's the logo 1. This is 2, and that's the third one, right? Okay, so you can flex it, like flex grow 1. You can make this flex grow 1, right? Yeah, it should expand all the way. Okay, you can check that in our main nav, not main nav. Yeah, main nav here, right? If you want, you can return nav here. So flex item center space x, that is large, any class name, right? It should combine. I mean, if you are passing anything, right? Let's check one thing more. Here user button, that's the user button, right? Okay, if you look at here, margin left auto, okay, so that means left margin left auto means it will automatically push this item, right? Basically, if there is a lot of space, right, it will just put all in the left side, means this button will be pushed to the last. Okay, we are not doing margin uh, uh, mx auto, we are not doing that. That means equally left and right, but I'm just saying margin left auto means just add all the extra margin on the left side and push this one to the inside this div, right? That's why this item is moved to the right, okay, in the right. So I hope that's clear now. And then any children, right, like any children will just go inside here, right? So the box here, this is the div flex one that will grow complete width, right? Flex grow, it can shrink and all that. Okay, so that is the property of flex. So any children will just go inside this div. Children means what? Children means these items, right? These are the children. So you have nav, you have this header first, and then you are displaying the children, and then finally you have the basically these pagination, right? So that pagination will comes from these children. Okay, you'll see that this heading, and then the table and the pagination, you will see from the page, right? That page itself is the children, these children. So in the layout, it's same, right? Always children will be something you want to display in every page, which is this part, right? Then children is just changing, means the page, like setting page or any other page, right? If you have, that will be keep changing. So in our case, we have profile orders. So you see the order page, this is order page as a child. Setting, if you add setting, it will be displayed as a child, right? Done. Let's move to the next one. History. Now let's create a page itself, right? We have the components. So we're going to add in the user orders page, right? That's the route. If you click here, like user orders, right? And that's the page, okay? Page is the one which is displaying always. So user orders page, right? Check now in the page. In the page, you're going to need table from the SAT-CN to display that list of items, metadata, import your app name, right? From the leave constant. Now, like if you want, just add some metadata here for this page. Then, yeah, so now the next is like format date time, right? You're going to need format date time. We have these functions in the leave. Currency also formatter, we have that. We're going to look at the get my order function later and the pagination, right, component later. For now, let's move to this function order page, right? That's the page. It takes parameter search params, which is basically page, right? What is search params now, right? See, if in the parameter, right, for example, if I go to the order here, I click next, this page, that's the query search params, right? Basically query, okay, query string, and you can get that in the search params parameter. Okay, this will create a object, and that object gonna have this page property, right? So that page will be the number, right? Which number is that? So that's the thing you're gonna get from this parameter. So if there is search params, you have available, right? And that search params are gonna have property called page. This is object, so object can have property page, that is string, right? So just remember that. So now const page equal to search params dot page, you convert to number, right? Either you get something from the search params, any number, or if not, that is the first, right? If there is no number, then that will be first one. Okay, because in the first page here is, right? But in the beginning, like for example, let's go to the order, refresh to the order, right? Even you displaying this order, you don't have the search params. So that means automatically one, right? That is the page one. Okay, so next thing is we need to get all the items from the order, right? How are we going to do that? We're going to write this get my order function, okay? And import that, right? So we're going to look at that. This is the div, right? Div with the S2 orders, and then you have the table from SATCN, table header like ID, date, paid, all that, right? What is here you see in the header section. Then you wrap through your order items, right? And display all this. So you're gonna table body, once you receive the order, right? From this function, get my orders, okay? Function, right? You're gonna just map through this object or array, right? That is array of data. Inside you have map each items and basically loop through that, right? Loop through this table row, and I have cell. So there is ID, then there is a date, there is again price, there is the basically like is paid, order dot is paid true, then display that date, and else format the date, right? Display not paid, okay? So if that is true, then display this, if not, display this. So we have the Boolean value in the order, right? You can check that schema, okay? Same thing here also, right? Delivered or not. So if true, then display this date, if not delivered information. Then finally details, right? You add the button, like if you click the details, you will reach to order details page, basically the details of that order, right? Like if you want to see that item, maybe you can order details. We have to create this, right? We don't have right now. And then finally is the after body, right? You have table close, and we are displaying the pagination, right? So look at this one now. The orders okay, the order object or array, right? The total page, okay, is greater than 1, then display this. And this is the pagination, right? And it takes the page number which we have on the top, total page which is the count, right? When you have order dot total pages, right? You can get that. So let's look at these two function now, right? Get my orders function. So in the action, order action, right? And during in the get section, okay? So here, this is the get section, get my order, right? It takes two things. We are passing the page size and the page, right? Page, okay? So if you go back here and you see the get my order, right? We have page and the limit is 6. We are passing. The page will be, we are getting from here, right? That's the page number from the query search params. Whatever we get here, we pass that, and the limit. So in each time, for each page, let's say there is a 20 item, right? And we are only displaying the first page is gonna have 6. If the page is 2, right? Then that, based on that page number, you're gonna skip the 6 page minus whatever, right? You skip that, and then you start from 7, item 7, right? Until 12 or 13, you're gonna display, okay? That is what you're gonna fetch. So this will help us to do that later, right? So if I go back here, we got this, that's the limit, that is number, this is also number, right? You have the session. If no session, throw error. Then Prisma order find many, right? Where the user ID equal to whatever session ID, right? User ID. So in the order, right, there is a user ID. So based on that user ID, you give me all the order, right, in the descending order, okay? but it says limit, make a limit, just take 6, that is the limit as 6, right? And skip means page minus 1, right? So page, let's say page is 2, if this time we get page 2, right? So skip like the first, if we have page 2, that means like don't take the beginning 6, right? 6 item. So 2 minus 1 will be 1 into limit, right? 6. 1 into 6 is 6. Okay, so this will just like it means it will just skip the I think the first, yeah, let's call it like this, right? Skip the first 6 and move to the from 7, 8, 9 until the 6, right? Take limit means it will only take 6 number, but the starting from where, right? So that will decide. Okay, so this is the Postgres SQL formula, right? If you have to only get certain number of items, you can check in the chat GPT, right? So here is some description. Did I add? Oh, okay, you're gonna find that also, right, in the yeah. So authenticate, just get the order for the authenticate ID. Fetching, right? You fetch the order. Calculate the total number of order also, right? To determine the page available and return the data. So the final here is like let's see, data count. You can count the data, right, by calling this prisma order.count with the ID, right? How many total items are there? You can count that, and you just return the data, right? Data. So where is our data? This is the one, and the total page, right? Total page you're gonna get from this count, divide by limit, and convert to the lowest number, right? There is like point something, make it high, right? Seal means high, okay? Like if 4.8, then you get 5, right? That's the seal. So you're gonna get total number of page also, right? That is what you're gonna return from this function. So this function will be getting like the object, right, with the data and the total page count. Okay, so here that will be useful, right? So that we have the page orders, basically orders dot total page, right? Also we getting that from the object, so you can pass that one. Okay guys, so that is the function, right? Let's look at the pagination. Okay, so let's get back to the pagination. The pagination will be in the component shared pagination, right? So let's go to there. A component shared and pagination, right? So like use search params because you want to deal with the route, right? Like query parameters, use that one to get some information from the URL link. Later you're gonna route somewhere, like you want to move from, let's say you are in the page 2, you want to go page 1 or page 3, I mean page 2 again, so you want to route, right? So use router, okay, for that one. From URL query, this will help us to basically format our URL. Later we're gonna check that function. We have button. So what is the pagination props, right? We have page, total page numbers, and the URL param name, right? So all this structure it. Okay, so in pagination, that is what you are passing. If you go back to the here, right, you have page and total page coming from here, and the URL you can get, right? Basically you can get that from the search params. URL param name, right? Search params is here. Okay, so let's continue, right? Let's continue. So the first thing in here, right? We have the onClick function, okay? Because we just defined the onClick function separate. This is the name of the function, right? OnClick. And when you click, right, you want to move based on this information, okay? Type, right? What type of button is that? Like previous or next? You're going to pass that information when you click, and based on that value, right? If this type is next, then you add this, right? Page value will be page number, which is you have here, right? +1. Okay, when next, else page number -1, right? So that is the page value. A new URL, you're gonna call this function, right? From form URL query function, which is gonna destructure our URL, and you pass this value. This function will take 3 parameters, right? Params, that is search params dot toString, right? You're gonna need that. Okay, and then URL page name, right? URL page name will either something from the URL page, right? Page name, either you get something from the URL. That is optional, okay? So let's not worry, right? That is optional. Either you're gonna get this or this, right? So for now, we're not passing anything, right? I mean, for now, we don't have anything. So most likely will be this page, right? So the next is like value. So what is value now? Page value dot toString, right? So this is the value, means whatever the number, right? Either 2 or 3 or maybe minus number, right? See the next, if equal to next, then will be this. If this is previous, then will be this, right? Previous means previous, go back, right? So total number -1. Click again, total number -1, right? And that's why it will take you to that page route. So once we have this URL ready, like, see, this is on click, and on every time you click, either you clicking next page or previous page, right? And based on that value, page value change. And when the page value change, this function will do something. Okay, we're going to check that later, right? And now we just push router, right? Router.push to the new URL. New URL, because how you going to move to the next page, right? This router will going to do that by pushing, right? New URL, and make it just pass another one, scroll false, right? Okay. So there is a button now which has a previous, and you attach on click callback function with on click function from here, right? Same name, on click is the event, and on click is a function also. This function will take parameter, or this is the value, right? So you just pass the value previous, okay, PREV, and disable if the number is less than equal to 1, right? You don't want that previous if the page number is less than 1, but basically 1, right? The next button is next. You pass that next, and same thing, disable it if it reaches to the last number, right? Total number, more than total number or equal to total number, okay? Then disable that button, because there is no click after that, right? And return that. So only thing is what this function is doing, right? So let's check that. You just import that function from the libutils. If you go to the lib and utils right here, let's go back. Lib utils, right? And then form URL query, right? This is the one, params key value, okay? These are the 3 things you pass from there, right? Params is a string, key is a string, value is also a string, right? Or null. So we need to install one library, right? Basically that is query string, okay? So you just go back here, npm, and that library is going to help us like structure our URL, right? Or basically see the let's go back here. So we need to format, right, this URL. Just install that. Okay, install that, and then you're going to import, right? Import QS from query string. Then we're going to use that to parse our parameter. Okay, params, right? Basically to parse that one, it will convert to the array, right? Then current URL dot key, you're gonna get key from the like from the function call, right? When you go back here in the page, let's go to the where is that order action, right? Oh, no, sorry, the in the pagination. Okay, not in this one. Let's go to the pagination. Here you're gonna find that, right? And what we are doing is basically params. Okay, so this is the what is params, right? Search params dot to string. So whatever the query parameter, search params will be the query parameter, right? Convert that to string and pass it here. That is params. Key will be URL params name, right? That is basically like the search params is this object, right? And inside that object you're gonna get the property page, right? Either will be another property, something else, or maybe page, right? So you will get page. Okay, that is the key. And page value will be basically the value of the key, right? So the page equal to 5 or 3, that is the value. Okay, so let's go back to the function now. What is that? Utils here, right? So just parse this, right? Parse this parameter. Okay, so you get the object, right? Basically an object square bracket variable, right? Remember when you want to access the value, so object square bracket variable, so key will be page, right? The current URL page equal to value, whatever value you get here. Okay, you're gonna put here, right? And then return. So you just modify this current URL, okay, based on that information, right? Modify that current URL and then return by stringifying new URL, basically by stringifying the new URL, right? Return that one. So this query string object, right, basically will like stringify our new URL. So how we can do that one, right? So you just pass the URL location, right, in the current URL, basically window.location.path name, and pass the see, this will give you the root, basically root URL, right? Okay, and then pass the new stringified URL, whatever we have just parsed right here, current URL. Okay, so that is all we have to send, right? See, see the thing, the idea is here, right? Let's say you are in page 2 and you want to move now, right? Slash page 1, basically page equal to 1 now. So that URL must be properly created, right? And read sent to the route like in the browser, right? So that that page will display. Okay, that is the reason, right, for all this, because you get the URL number, like page number, you move forward or backward, now you are creating the new URL. So that new URL must be properly structured. Okay, So just read through here, right? I added some of the like updating the query parameter. Okay, that is the point, right? Whatever the new number, like if you move from 1 to 2, right? For example, see right now there is 1. If I click, I move from page 1 to 2, right? If I go back, this must be revalidate. So that all validation is happen right inside that function. Okay, so everything happens here and we return the new URL, right? And whatever we return is used in our pagination. So if we go to the pagination, leave, where is the page in the component, right? Where I put the shared and pagination, right? So that function will return the new URL, right? And that URL we push, look at here, we push that back to the browser, right? And whatever the URL, if there is a new URL, the data will be updated according to that URL. You're getting that information, right? So based on that information, I mean, what happened, right? You fetch the data, you display again, right? All that things happen. Okay, guys, so that is all I have. Just look at this, and then next maybe Monday class, right? I'm gonna see. I don't see, if you look at here, right? Most likely you don't see that everything is not paid because I was unable to do the payment from the PayPal, right? So most likely what I will do is Stripe, use the Stripe, and then try to like fake account, right? Try to make the complete payment, and we'll see if we can change this status, right? So yeah, so let's see. Now the next class will be at maybe the profile or setting. We're gonna work on that before we move to the next maybe payment or something else, right? So this is all. I mean, this is all you're gonna get, right? Up to the payment section. But as I said, we're gonna implement the Stripe. So let's finish the Stripe until the Stripe part, and then most likely we will work on the, I think that should be the dash. We're gonna add here dashboard, right? So that will be for the admin, right? Admin who can create the product. Yeah, you can add products, update products, things like that. A couple of things, right? Maybe the chart for the sales report, things like that you can implement. So, but I mean, at least this much is good enough, right? You get some idea. But let's add one more thing, like couple of things like profile or settings and the Stripe, right? And then we're gonna think furthermore what to do. Okay. So I will just stop here for now. Thank you very much.